Let me guess. You think your biggest problem is not having enough time. But what if I told you your problem is actually clarity? My name is Danielle Gray, and I am a business coach for moms who are looking for clarity and to keep their sanity while they scale to six figures during school hours. And I'm so glad that you're here. Time management isn't just about calendars and planners and organizing yourself and getting everything situated. Time management is about you being honest with yourself about how long something is going to take you, what kind of capacity you have to get that done, calling yourself out when you are very clearly doing something that is not in line with your goals. And this comes down to having clarity, because when you have clarity in your goals, and not just in your goals, like I want to have this many clients, or I want to hit this much amount of money a month, or I want my business to be able to fund these kinds of charities. That kind of clarity is important. But what I mean is more clarity around what does your ideal business look and feel like, first and foremost. We want to work backwards from feeling always, because when it comes from a manifestation angle, because of course we can co-create any reality we want, including our business results. When you tap into the feeling of the ideal outcome, you have the opportunity to tap into that feeling any other time, because it's not like some new level of good feelings unlock when you finally hit 10K months or 20K months or 100K months. Those emotions are available to you anytime, right? And of course, going after those goals, we assume that when we reach them, we're going to be in those states more often. But the truth is, if you're not in those states as you build it, you will not be in those states afterwards. That's why so many people who are successful are still unhappy, is because they haven't done the inner work that's required to truly enjoy the success that you have. So it's really important that you're clear about what it is that you're after to begin with. So what do you want your business to look like, to feel like? How many hours a week do you want to be working? If you're a entrepreneur mom like me trying to build a business in school hours so that you're available for drop off, you're available for pickup, you're available after school without having to get childcare. And if you're like me, you also want to do all the volunteer things like hot dog day and, fun day and helping the pack, or the whatever they call it at your kid's school, the parent advisory committee. You want to help put the orders together and the hot lunches together, and you want to help set things up and take things down, and you want to be present at your kid's school. Well, that requires time management, because if you want to be able to fit all those things in and be present when your kid's off school and available on the weekends to spend time with your partner or your friends or your family or whoever, you need to be clear about how many hours a week you actually have to work and how you want to spend those hours, right? And then it's also clarity around your offers and who you're helping. I find so often when I talk to moms who think that time is their biggest issue, they think they don't have enough hours. What really is the problem the majority of the time is they're not clear enough about what it is that they're even doing. So of course it's going to feel like you don't have enough time and nothing's getting done if you don't even know what you're working backwards from. So I'm such a fan of reverse engineering things. You have to work backwards with the end in mind, which is why I say first start with clarity around what you want your schedule to look like, what you want your goals to be, and who you're helping and why. And then you can work backwards from there, creating offers that make sense. But also it's important, caveat here, it's important to understand your unique energy style. So I am by no means an expert in human design, but I do fully believe that it would serve you hugely to go and get your free human design chart. There's tons of places you can get it. Just Google free human design chart, just to get an idea of what your energy type is. There are 5 types: manifestor, generator, manifesting generator, projector, and reflector. And I said, I'm not any kind of expert, but what I do know is one of the ways that you can fail quickly in business is by trying to use somebody else's strategies and structures when they are a different energy type than you. For example, I am a manifestor. So part of my energy type is I have really strong bursts of energy where I can get a lot done in a very small amount of time. But then I go into kind of an ebb state of my energy where I don't have the energy to do anything really. And so it's not a good idea for me to have a business structure and to try to manage my time thinking that I'm going to be doing the same things every week, because my energy just, it will not work. And then I'm setting myself up for failure. So it's important that you understand at least a basic overview of what your human design is, so that you can use that in your time management and your business foundations, so that you're setting yourself up for success from the beginning with a business structure and model that is going to feel good for your energy type. When you're clear about who you're helping, it's much easier to do everything. I know that there's a lot of people out there preaching niching down, and I have always understood it, but never to the degree that I understand it now. Because when you are speaking so specifically to a certain kind of person, like I'm speaking to moms building businesses while their kids are at school, and they want to fit everything they need to do into about 20 hours a week, right? That does alienate a huge portion of the population. However, it also allows me to speak very specifically to the frustrations that you are experiencing right now, because I'm in the same boat. I know exactly what's happening. I know what it looks like to get everything going. I know what it looks like to be frantically trying to get your business foundations in place so that by the time the summer comes, you can actually spend the summer with your kids instead of being stressed out that you have to be inside working when the sun is shining and you'd rather be working on your town. Right? So it's important that you understand who you're helping with what and why, so that you can speak more clearly to them. You can create offers that they actually want and that actually solve a problem that they have. And you can communicate that clearly so that you can be building your business in a way that feels good and makes sense, and it allows you to leverage your time more easily. Okay, so time management is about so much more than just managing your time. It's also important when we're talking about time management that we also talk about time leaks. Okay, one of the worst things you can do is, and I'm guilty of this, is pick up your phone while you're waiting for something to load, a video to download, a video to upload. Maybe you're waiting for ChatGPT to crank out a response for something, especially if you're doing the deep research, version. It takes a little while to crank it out. Do not pick up your phone, because you will go from picking it up innocently to check something while your computer does its thing to wasting an hour. You look up at your phone and you go, oh my God, I've been sitting here for an hour. What a waste of time. Also, something that I still have to catch myself doing is being very aware of how I'm using the time that I have when my kid is not home versus when he is home. For example, there is no reason I need to be doing laundry during the day when I could be working on business things. I can do laundry when he's home, right? I have a very hard and fast boundary around working only when I'm home by myself, right? When my husband's home, it's his weekend. I want to spend time with him. When my son is home, he's out of school. I want to spend time with him. I don't want to be working on my business, which means the time that I do work on my business, or the time that I have to work on my business, needs to be used as efficiently as possible, which is one of the reasons why I love to repurpose content, because I record something once and then I use this piece of content for multiple other things. It just makes sense that you would double down on the efforts you're already making. And that's, again, important piece of time management, is understanding what are the things that are going to move the needle the most that you can double down on so that you're using your time as efficiently as possible. Another time leak you may not be aware of is improperly managing your time, in the sense that you're not time blocking or time chunking similar tasks together so that you can more efficiently use your brain energy too. This is something that's so important when we're talking about time leaks, is understanding that your mind uses a significant amount of energy every time you switch tasks, which is why you've probably felt this when you are going from creating, say, a workbook, and then you get a phone call, and then it can be hard to get back into the workbook, or you switch tasks altogether, or you get an email and then you go to respond to the email and now you switch tasks again. And that uses a significant amount of energy. And if you're switching tasks all day long, you're wasting precious energy that you could be using if you were managing your time better. So time blocking and time chunking is going to be so valuable to you. So what I mean by that is, for example, instead of recording just one video, record 3 or 4, or spend the whole day recording video content. And then spend the next day batching those videos into blog posts and maybe social media posts and maybe emails too, depending on how you want to do it. If you are recording content for a new program that you have, Do it in a chunk because you're going to be more in the flow when you are focusing your energy on that. A lot of people think that they need to be adding so many different tasks into their day and getting, all these different areas in one day, but that's not an efficient use of time. What's a better idea is to lay out your whole week or even your whole month and then decide what days are going to be used for what tasks and what kinds of things so that you are switching tasks less and having more deep focused work in certain areas at a time. That will change everything for you because your brain can focus on the one thing that you're working on and better utilize and leverage the energy that you do have. So I think you can see why a lot of moms misdiagnose their problem as time management when really their problem is clarity and lack of planning, right? Because when you're clear about who you're helping with what and why, you know what you're creating, what you're working towards, and you can take your vision and reverse engineer it into projects and tasks, and then actually get those tasks on the calendar, you know what's happening when. And so it's going to be way harder for you to feel like you're mismanaging your time when you know exactly what you need to be working on and when. And the reason this works so well for moms like you and me is we are going to get interrupted. It is going to happen. Either our kid, my son's called from the school because he needs his puffer, or he didn't bring his boots, but then he jumped in a big puddle and now he needs new pants. And I don't get interrupted every single day by any means, but it does happen. Or, you decide that you are literally starving to death and need to take a break for some lunch, right? So we're going to get interrupted. So when we have this really good way of managing our time and breaking everything down, working with the end in mind and working backwards, when we get interrupted, it's much easier to jump back into what we were working on because we have a clear list of things that need to get done. And then when you're ticking things off this clear list, it's really hard to get distracted. And it's really hard to feel like you're not making any momentum because you can literally see that you've checked all these things off. One of my clients calls it a checkgasm every time she checks something off her to-do list, right? And it's when you build up that momentum, you're going to continue to build up that momentum, right? It's like we're appeasing the part of our brain that needs the dopamine of the check, right? We are in a day and age now where our brains are inundated with instant gratification, which is why it's easy to lose motivation when we're talking about, building businesses that maybe aren't where we want them to be, or we're not getting the results we think we want or should have, or we're not attracting clients fast enough. And that's, all of these things are things we can talk about in future episodes. But when you're clear about what it is you're doing and reverse engineer that in all the ways. And this also applies to housework, managing the house, meal planning, like how you do one thing is how you do all things. I'm speaking specifically about business here today, but a mom's job is never done, right? Because as soon as the kids get home, now you're on snack duty, and then you're on dinner duty, and somewhere in there, there's laundry, and, somewhere in there, we got to keep the house clean too, which you can time chunk all of those things too and batch them together so that you're setting yourself up for success. You'll hear me say this a lot. We really are always wanting to be focusing on setting our future self up for success. And that is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about time management and clarity and time chunking and all of what I've been talking about here, because it really does set your future self up for success. And it allows you to create that consistent momentum that your business needs. So if you walk away with nothing else, I want you to just sit down and be honest with yourself. How clear are you on a scale of 1 to 10 about what it is that you're doing and working towards? And if it's anything but a 10, I want you to sit down and work backwards. Decide what it is that you actually want to do. And here's a pro tip for you. Start with an ideal testimonial. What is something that would feel so good to have somebody say? You want to script out a testimonial, or maybe a couple of testimonials about the transformation that you provided, how you helped this person, what a difference you made in their life, how much they love working with you, and all of those things, like a glowing testimonial. And then work backwards from there. Pick out, okay, based on this, who's my ideal client? Where in their journey are they coming to get this kind of result? And what kind of offers can I put together, or what offers do I have that I can kind of revamp that are going to help facilitate this transformation, and then work backwards from there. And once you're clear about all of that, you can reverse engineer it further. But make sure too that you're clear about how many hours you have to work. I focus on creating a 20-hour work week. And below in the description box, you can get my 20-hour work week blueprint for mom entrepreneurs, which will help you fit everything you need to get done into just 20 hours a week so that, you have 25 hours technically from drop off to pick up. You've got basically 5 hours a day times 5 days a week. That's 25 hours. But we don't want to be spending every minute of that 25 hours glued to our computer, right? Maybe we want to have lunch with a friend. Maybe we want to go to the grocery store. Maybe we want to just sit in the sun and do nothing for 20 minutes. Maybe we want to meditate. Maybe we want to go to the spa. Plus, let's be real. I don't know about you, but my kids' school seems to constantly have non-instructional days, statutory holidays, pro D days, conference days, half days, all of these things. So more often than not, it feels like I only have 4 days to work anyway. So instead of planning for a 25-hour week and then condensing it where I have to, I would rather work with 20 hours only and then give myself that extra 5-hour buffer. Because let's be real, not everybody's on their game all the time. Kids get sick. Kids have unexpected things come up. It's nice to have that buffer built in. So get the 20-hour work week blueprint for mom entrepreneurs down below. And leave me a comment. Let me know if this was helpful. If there's anything that I talked about today that you would like me to expand on in a future video, please let me know, because I'm here for you. I would love to answer any of your questions. And in the description box, you'll also find some other resources. I've got a free Facebook group. I've got some links about where you can follow me elsewhere. And I hope that you'll like and subscribe so that we can spend some more time together, because this has been amazing and I hope it's been valuable to you. And I'll see you next time.